Get ready to dive in headfirst into the world of theme park fun with In the Parks. We're your first stop for the latest news, reviews, and insider secrets. From roller coasters to cotton candy, we've got all the thrills and spills you're craving. Don't miss a moment of the action. So strap in and hold on tight as we take you in the parks.
I'm Josh, and this is In the Parks and Beyond podcast. We're going to jump right into our second episode in the Disney series. We're going to be going over rides today. So right now I'm going to throw it over to Jerry and say, what do you think your favorite themed ride is? Or what do you think the best themed ride at Disney is?
All right. Man, already kicking it off with a great question because this is a tough one because there's so many.
I know.
To be quite honest with you. If I had to go with best themed right now, are we talking about just theme, or are we talking about experience along with the theme? If that makes sense.
You can do. I feel like theme and experience, they go hand in hand.
All right. So if we're talking theme and experience, I have to go Rise of Resistance. Just from the start to finish, I just think that ride is a ride within a ride within a ride. It's its own kind of category, if you will. So I think for me, that has to be number one.
It's almost like a show, too.
It's tough. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like from the time you get into the queue to the time you get off the ride, it's just always something to look at, always something to do. It's unreal what they did with it. I mean, immersive. There's so many choices, though. So many choices, but I think I have to go with that one. I think I have to. I guarantee you're going to say something. I'm going to be like, why did I not think of that? But that's mine.
No, I could see that because I could see that because it's definitely not just a ride, or it's really an immersive experience altogether. So I can definitely see that. For me, I think that Tower of Terror has one of the best themes that Disney has ever done.
And I knew it. I knew it'd be one of the situations where I was like, because that was gonna be my next. That was gonna be my next one where I was like again, when you get in it to the end, to the start to the finish, it's.
It feels like I walked into an abandoned hotel. Like it's not. I mean, from the fake cobwebs to just the boiler room and the queue, it really is just very, very. It really does have that ominous feeling, exactly like what. If you went on the Mission Breakout in Disneyland.
Yes. Yep.
The way they completely retheme that, it feels more like a fun ride. But like when you're getting onto Tower of Terror in the queue, you just feel that anticipation, like you're like something's wrong.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's just I don't even know how to explain it. You just get that ominous feeling.
Yeah, it feels like it's like doomed, if you will. You know, it's man, that's such a good choice. I swear, our viewers and everyone's gonna be like, you know, Jerry's fired from being able to pick number one.
Well, but it's an opinion. It's not like I said, Jerry, what is factually the best themed ride? It's what do you think in your opinion?
It's so funny too because I always say Pirates too because again,
well, that's classic.
Getting onto the dark ride, you know, that's a classic ride. So like, but if I'm going, for me personally, I have to say Rise. You know, as much as I want to say other things, I have to say Rise.
No, Rise of the Resistance is definitely. I would put it up there as a top 5. I would.
Sure.
I would definitely put that up as a top 5. I mean, just alone from. I really don't want to spoil it. I know a lot of people have already done it, but just from when you get off the cruiser, I'm not going to just in case someone hasn't seen the big room, but you know what I'm talking about. Our listeners know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's just. It really is a cool feeling to.
That's breathtaking, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, first time I went on it and I walked into it, I was like, they did this.
Yeah. No, it left me speechless because I was like, no way. Like, there's no way they were able to pull this off. I think.
Exactly.
I think we're really.
And I feel too, you know, like going on it for the first time because, like, you know, of course it was a few months, you know, since it opened, since I got to go on it. So like everyone I knew who's been on it, they were like, you just have to go experience it. They're like, I can explain it to you, but then it like doesn't do it justice. You know, you just go do it.
And I have to say, the cast members really do make that ride.
Absolutely.
I mean, they have toned it down a lot since the opening. I will admit it's toned down. They've toned down a little bit, but it's still really, they really do an amazing job making you feel like you're in a movie.
Absolutely.
Like,
yes.
If they really stay in character, I mean, that was an amazing choice. I would definitely probably put that at 2 or 3 on a top 5 list.
Yes. Sure. Absolutely.
But the main topic of today is I want to know, if you were an Imagineer, what would you put in the parks as a new attraction, and which park would you put it in? And we're talking Walt Disney World.
Oh, okay. This is a good question. I wouldn't just say ride. I don't know if this is going to speak more into like further episodes for us, but I would have to have a concept for, I wouldn't say a new park, but maybe a new area, if you will, that would incorporate rides. My idea would be to have some form of either a fifth gate or a land strictly to villains for Disney.
Yes, that's a great choice.
I think they need to do something with that. I don't know what kind of concepts that they could bring with it, but there's so much that they could do with it, and I just hope that they can roll with it because that would be so cool. They could bring something like that into the parks.
Now, say there was a Villain's Land, but there was no ride yet. What villain would you theme this ride after?
Oh, I mean, I guess. Wow, I would say. This is kind of hard because they already.
You can pick multiple. It doesn't have to just be one.
And yeah, no, but I would say this is more geared towards Star Wars, if you will. If I had to pick a villain who I think the number one villain in any kind of movie or category, anything, I have to say Darth Vader. In my opinion, is probably one of the best villains, in my opinion. And it would be so cool to get something for him.
Yeah, I could see that because it could be like, it could start out as like when he became Darth Vader. Could look almost like his story.
Exactly.
Whatnot you.
Exactly.
I think that, and then you just like progress through, and then like I think the end would be pretty cool. Is like, the end. Like, again, I don't want to spoil anything, but I mean, if you haven't seen the movies, this is on you. But from when he dies, I think like if you just have a ride, like, I think that would be cool. I mean, you could do a dark ride, or you could do like a more thrilling dark ride. What not like a coaster, but more like a fast moving.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep. Almost like the Ratatouille or the Mickey's Runaway Railway ride system where it's trackless.
Exactly. Yes, that's actually good observation there. I think that would be a perfect idea for that.
Yeah, because it gives them more freedom.
Ride wouldn't be warranted. Exactly. Exactly. I don't think a thrilling ride would be kind of warranted for it because, like, to me, that wouldn't really bring the perspective of Darth Vader and make it dark like he is. So I think something around those realms, I think, would be perfect for it.
Yeah, because then it could be like it could be like they could bring us down to like the level of a droid being a droid spying and seeing what's going on.
Yep.
Like kind of like having that back view, almost like if you think about I don't know if anyone, I mean, I'm sure people have seen it, but Lion King 1.5, how it's like the point of view of Timon and Pumbaa. I think that having the point of view of like it would just be a whole new perspective of the whole story of Darth Vader.
Sure. No, absolutely. Give me Imagineers if you're listening. We want our royalties.
Are you hiring?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I think that we should. I mean, I know they want to expand Magic Kingdom, but I'm not talking about Beyond Thunder Mountain expansion. I'm thinking. I mean, I've always wanted to see an actual Tangle ride put into the parks. So I know we all love the Tangled bathrooms at Magic Kingdom. I get it.
Yes.
But I would 100% support removing those bathrooms for a full-on Tangled ride. I mean, you can even repurpose those bathrooms. You can make the queue in them. I mean, obviously remove the toilets, but I just think that a classic Pirates of the Caribbean-esque boat ride, telling the story of Tangled, and then it I would put a drop where it drops into the big lake scene with the floating lanterns.
That would be cool. Yes, that'd be awesome. Actually,
like I wouldn't put that as the big finale, but I think that having that towards the end and you just drop into it, into that scene, would be awesome. Because for me, I think Tangled is one of the most underused cool. and underrated IPs that Disney has.
Sure. Absolutely. No,
for some odd reason. And it would fit
not even
in
a
that.
Hot take there. Yeah, no, I don't think
it would fit in the theme. It's not like you're putting Tiana's Bayou Adventure in Adventureland. I mean, it fits the theme. I mean, Frontierland, sorry. Don't come for me. But I think that I really do think that is something that Disney should consider, because that would be probably another e-ticket attraction, in my opinion.
Oh,
I think that you'd have Frozen, like when Frozen first opened, we had 4-hour waits. I think you'd have about 4-hour waits for a Tangled ride. It would it would increase capacity in that area, because that area bottlenecks a lot because you have the Peter Pan line that's for some reason always 90 minutes. If you've never been to Disney, it's not worth 90 minutes. But I really do think that adding an attraction there would help increase capacity, especially in that back part of the park is very bottlenecky.
Yes, I avoid that area at all costs. It's a nightmare to get through there.
Especially because it bottlenecks into Liberty Square, and then you have Columbia Harbor House, you have Haunted Mansion right there. But so alleviating some of that would be good. But Imagineers, I give full permission for you to use that idea. And reach out if you need my advice.
Yeah. You know where to find us.
Yeah. Now we're talking about areas of parks. What do you think is an area of a park in one of the lanes of the parks? What do you think they could have done differently in terms of rides?
If we're going with a big ticket, I'm going to go with Toy Story Land.
And I can agree with that.
I know we kind of touched upon this about Alien Swirling Saucer. I think that's a waste of space. They could have done a lot more with it. In my opinion.
It almost feels like an afterthought.
So much more. Exactly. It was like, hey, we have some space here. Let's just add something into it. That's how I feel like they went about that idea.
Yeah, I do feel like Toy Story Land didn't get the recognition that the love that it deserved from Disney. I think that they were trying to put something just as a bridge to Galaxy's Edge. Because I mean, in my opinion, I think that Toy Story Land should have been double the size. I agree. I think that they could have done a lot more with it.
Edge size.
Yeah, and it's really hard to walk through there on a very busy day. Like, you're shoulder to shoulder breathing over people when it's very busy. It's not a very and in my opinion, there's no shade.
Not much to it.
So no,
there's no shade. There's not much to it. Their gift shop is like stands that you see in the middle of a mall. So it's not like you can walk into a store to avoid the heat to go look around and things like that.
Right.
It's how they designed it was just feel like, hey, here's Toy Story. Let's give them what they want and let's keep moving.
I will say though, they did knock out the park with Woody's Lunchbox.
I have not been there yet. Which
really?
Is very shocking. I have not been there yet. It is a must do for me. I know.
Yeah, you have to get the grilled cheese and the Pop-Tart.
I know.
Yeah. No, mobile order though, because that line can get busy.
Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. Woody's Lunchbox. No, I've been there plenty of times. Woody's Lunchbox. I'm sorry. I thought.
Yeah. You guys talk about barbecue.
Yes. No. What? Yes. Forget what I said. Yes, I've been to Lunchbox plenty of times. Pop-Tarts are amazing.
Yeah. I mean, for me, Hollywood Studios are starting, like, I know in the last episode Hollywood Studios was not my top park, but the more I go, the more I'm starting to feel it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do think that Hollywood Studios deserves another ride, though. I know there's not a lot of space, but if they're not, if they're not going to do anything with Galactic Star Cruiser, that parking lot and the land that Galactic Star Cruiser sits on would be a perfect opportunity to expand a little bit.
Exactly.
You know
Yep.
You get where I'm going with this?
Absolutely. Yep.
I think it's time to expand Galaxy's Edge.
I think. Absolutely. Yes. That'd be. Hey, maybe it's in the works. Who knows?
Hey, we got D23. Maybe they'll surprise us this year.
What would you add? What would you add, though?
So, I want to rewind just a little bit, and then I'll answer that. Hollywood Studios, Galaxy's Edge was supposed to have 3 attractions at opening. So we have the 2. The third one was supposed to be you were riding on the back of an animal from the Star Wars lore.
Yes. Yep.
And so when you're in Galaxy's Edge, when you're just staying on the normal path, you go past this like speeder depot. This it looks like a speeder garage.
Yep.
Right. That was supposed to be the queue for the third attraction. So I would expand if it was me, if I was in charge, I would go forward and add that third attraction. But if I would add a 4th attraction, I would add another e-ticket to help the wait times for Rise of Resistance and Smuggler's Run to drop a lot, because those rides can get really high wait times during.
Yes. Yes, they can.
Especially now, like spring break, you see in 2-hour wait times. So I would add an e-ticket attraction, probably something on the lines of a coaster. I would take. I wouldn't like build a carbon copy of Cosmic Rewind.
Sure.
But I would probably take something along the lines of Cosmic Rewind and Rock and Roller Coaster, like fun and thrilling. That makes sense?
Yeah,
in the dark. Absolutely. You could be. I think that theming the coaster like you're flying in a X-wing, and the story is that you're taking down the Death Star from an original movie attraction, because that would satisfy the needs of the original Star Wars fans, and it would still be fun for the newer Star Wars fans who came in on the last trilogy. But I think that would be an amazing ride. Is like you're piloting an X-wing, but it's a coaster.
That would be really cool. You have like a great point there. Like being able to appease all audiences, because I know you had mentioned it last episode where your biggest thing, like, it's not that you don't like Galaxy's Edge, but it doesn't really it's more of the newer Star Wars, if you will. So which was kind of how you talked about, like, well, it didn't really appease the older generation that was born and raised with Star Wars. It's like that would be such a cool concept, honestly.
I mean, I grew up with the middle trilogy, so I grew up with episode 1, 2, and 3. Came out when I was a child. So to me, I don't need a ride centered around episodes 1, 2, and 3, but I would love a ride centered around the original trilogy, 4, 5, and 6. And I can't be the only one to think that.
Actually.
I think that was where Disney missed on Galaxy's Edge, was that they did not hit on the older Star Wars fans. They didn't really put them into consideration.
No, exactly. I think they were, like, we had talked about this before too. Like, I feel like they were just trying to respond to the whole, Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So I think
right. Yep. They really
get the younger audience involved in it.
Yep. Which, I mean, you can't really. I mean, Star Wars and Harry Potter is apples and oranges. You can't really compare the two. You have a set fan base for Harry Potter. You have a set fan base for Star Wars. It's not. I mean, there's crossover, but there's not a lot of crossover.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah, and another thing I would do, in addition to adding that attraction, would be moving Launch Bay. I think that Launch Bay should, with the character meet and greets with Darth Vader, Chewie, I think that should be moved over to the expansion at Hollywood Studios. Yes. And then moving Launch Bay would clear some area to expand in that area.
Yes.
You could add a show. You could add another attraction.
No, exactly. And then while you're at it too, this could be a hot topic too, but just get rid of Star Tours at that point too. It's, to me, I think that's a little random where it is too.
You didn't say that. That's such a classic.
I mean, but it's so random where it is. I mean,
I guess. But if you're going backward, if you're going back in that area, it's possible that they could reroute an entrance to Star Tours from there, like they did for Toy Story, because Toy Story's entrance was on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yeah, they completely move the entrances to Toy Story, but I think that clearing an area next to Toy Story Land would allow for a little bit of expansion, either in Toy Story Land or expanding more ride, like just a classic ride. Like if it was me, back when they were talking about Mickey's Runaway Railway, I would have planned for Launch Bay to be moved from into Galaxy's Edge, and I would have put Mickey's Runaway Railway in the area that Launch Bay's in, and kept Great Movie.
Okay. Yes, that's good, actually. If only we can go back in time.
It is what it is. But, I mean, Runaway Railway, it's still a fun ride, but I just don't think that that's what should have replaced a ride like Great Movie Ride.
I agree.
I agree. Obviously, it's my opinion, but it hurts. And then I think that the park that's in the biggest need for an expansion, or I wouldn't say expansion because it's already huge, but a retheme would be Dino Land and Animal Kingdom.
Yes. That's more than an understatement there. That thing, don't even get me started.
Oh, well, I want to get you started. I would like to know, out of the Blue Sky ideas that they've released, how are you feeling? I know at this point they've said something about it being a theme to South America, Middle America, Central America type vibes.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea, honestly. I think they're gonna have put a good concept there. I think if I had an idea though, if I had to put something into Animal Kingdom, and I feel like there's not enough of it, if this is going to make sense. Like, I know they have a show for it, but I am very surprised that there's no Lion King ride.
I actually agree with you. I mean, you could argue that the safari is you can argue that, but it's not Lion King IP.
Exactly, and I feel like, and I just think Lion King is such a staple for Disney that I understand they get they have one of the best shows for it, of course, but I'm honestly surprised there's nothing for it. Honestly, I'm shocked, honestly, to be quite, and I think Animal Kingdom would be a great place to extend on that.
Yeah, no, I can see that, because you could definitely just do something simple like a trackless dark ride, exactly. or like a old school Haunted Mansion type dark ride, just through the story of the Lion King.
Exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be an e-ticket.
That's just one idea, because I've always said that. I was like, wow. I was like you said, they could always say the safari and things like that, sure, but it's not really like Lion King in hindsight. It's the animal aspect of it, of how the Lion King is essentially, but it's not the Lion King, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. Now, if you were in charge of adding in the Lion King ride, obviously in that era you'd have to remove something to fit it.
Oh, I knew it was coming.
Because you can't have Africa and then put Lion King in Dinoland.
Sure.
It would break the immersion of Animal Kingdom.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So picture Africa, like the land in your mind.
Sure.
What would be removed? Because you have Tusker House, you have a quick service, then you have a couple street vendors, you have the stage before you get to the safari, then you have Rafiki's Planet Watch, which is next to for the train station is right next to the safari. Then you have Harambe Market, just to help you picture it.
I would have to go with, I think you just kind of said it, Rafiki's Planet Watch.
Oh, you're gonna get a lot of hate for that one.
I think would be. I sure am. Yes, I am. I would say, see you later. I mean, if we're talking like, if something had to go, like if that's somebody's favorite thing to go do in their Animal Kingdom, let's talk, because there's so much other good stuff there, you know. So like,
I mean, it's definitely fun to check out, but
bring the hate. That's fine.
You're gonna
It is.
You're gonna like, get the parental. You're gonna get the parent hate groups to get you, because it is a very good area for the kids to play, to keep them busy.
Oh, it is.
But you could.
It definitely is. But move it.
I was gonna say you could put the Lion King ride. I mean, I'm not sure really how much space they have back there, but you could add the ride in Rafiki's Planet Watch. Because it's called Rafiki's Planet Watch, so it fits the Lion King theme.
Sure, actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, yeah.
It just depends on how much space they'd have back there, which I'm off the top of my head, I'm not sure. But I'm sure it's Disney. I'm sure that if they wanted to put it there, they'd put it there. Like they'd make it work.
They'd find a way.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, I know in our last episode you touched on Animal Kingdom not really being your favorite park, just because you're more of a ride centric person. So, I want to know how you feel about the rumor of Dinosaur being rethemed to Indiana Jones. If they go through with the Blue Sky.
Don't get me wrong, I love Dinosaur. I love the Dinosaur ride, don't get me wrong, but I'd be okay with it, to be quite honest. I think.
Yeah. Honestly,
I love Indiana Jones, to agree with you. So I wouldn't be mad.
I mean, I love Dinosaur. It is one of my favorite rides in the parks. But I wouldn't be upset if it was themed to the ride in the same Indiana Jones type ride that's in Disneyland. Like if it's a completely new ride, I may be a little upset. Yeah.
Sure.
I'd be okay. I wouldn't be as angry as I am that they got rid of Great Movie Ride. Like
exactly.
I think that it would be a good swap.
They need to do something with that area. No, absolutely. They need to do something with that area. So like, I wouldn't be completely mad that they did it, because like they're revamping the whole area. It's not like with the Great Movie Ride where they hexed it. They kept the same exact thing and just threw Mickey's Runaway Railway into there. So like where that area in Animal Kingdom is getting like a whole revamp. So I wouldn't be mad if that's the direction they did go. I mean, you're a little disappointed, sure, but it is what it is.
I definitely think that they wouldn't need to do an overhaul. I do think that the ride would probably have to be a little bit different if it's utilizing the same track as Dinosaur. But if you stick with the same premise as the one in Disneyland, I think I'd be satisfied.
Absolutely. I know, I agree. Yeah. And I would assume that they probably would be my guess. Maybe not. Maybe they're trying to knock it out of the park with new technology. Who knows? But which again, will be a little bit skeptical, because are they going to ruin it? What are they going to do with it? So we'll see. I guess. So I guess we'll put a pin in that one, because there's still kind of rumors swirling, I guess, of what they're doing with it. So
I mean, when you look at the Blue Sky,
I just hope they don't try to add too much.
Yeah, I can see that, adding too much.
Yeah. Well, what I mean by that, because there's been so many like concepts thrown around what they're going to do with that area, because like there's been talked of like what was it, Zootopia, Indiana Jones. So like I just feel like they don't try to like
and
squash
Encanto.
everything into such a small area, and it's just like exactly. So I'm like, would that be too much? And when like, do you have more space than you're leading on that we have in Animal Kingdom? So like, who knows?
Right.
But like, I just feel like I hope they just kind of roll with one topic and roll with it. Like, I just feel like
I get that.
Sensory overload, if you will.
In my opinion, if we're sticking with the way that Disney's currently been going with their finished products, I think that the final product is mostly just going to be open garden beds and trees, like more of a nature-esque type thing, and probably one or two rides. I think that that's what will come to fruition. I don't think that the big lavish what they showed on the concept art will come to fruition. I think it's just going to be mostly garden space like we got with Epcot. A huge deviation from the concept art.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Because again, I mean, I wouldn't be mad with that because I think anything will be better than what's there now with Dinoland. So
yeah,
it's much needed. So I think I wouldn't be mad with that, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that it would fit. It fits. Like if they do go the route of just a garden area with a few rides, I'd be okay with that because it does fit Animal Kingdom. Just be honest. That's all I ask. Don't show me a concept art that has all this amazing stuff and then under deliver, because that's what's upsetting people. It's like if you had told me that that's what Epcot was going to look like, I would have been like, all right, I guess so. But to deviate a lot from the concept art like they did, like if you look at the original concept art all the way to the last concept art release, yeah, that is true. That took a while. Now, speaking of Epcot, we're going to move. I mentioned Epcot.
Well, before we touch on that, we're kind of circling back to Animal Kingdom real quick, because I know you mentioned like I had ranked that as like my last park. It was tough putting that as my last park because I know we talked about it like in other whole rides and things like that, but like I really, really think Animal Kingdom is a sleeper park for food, and if they're expanding in the Dinoland area, or like you had mentioned, like the concept of like gardens and things like that, add more food because you will find me there.
yeah. No, Animal Kingdom is definitely a sleeper park around food. I agree, 100% with you, man. Especially Satuli, Harambe, they're amazing in terms of food.
Yes, yeah, understatement there. I think there's so many good options there. I'm like, I love the food there. You'll every time if you see me in the park when I'm there, there's always something in my hand.
Oh man, I love it. So I want to touch base on Epcot. There's plenty of space to add a country. What country would you add?
Good question. I've always had this idea, so I could get heat for this. I may not get heat for this. I wouldn't per se a real country, and I'll get to that in a second. So I know Epcot has gone more towards they're trying to bring Disney into the parks. You know, and I should say Marvel as well, bring into the parks. They just recently opened the Guardians ride, as we all know, Cosmic Rewind. And here's my idea. One of the countries they should bring in would be Wakanda. And make it like a secret highway passage like they do with Wizarding World at Universal, but make it towards like Wakanda area and have it themed towards Wakanda. If they're trying to bring Marvel into the aspect of Epcot, I think would be again. I probably get a lot of heat for that, but I think it would be such a cool concept having Wakanda. As I know it's a make believe country and things like that, but if you're trying to bring a theme in it, and which they already have,
that's a cool idea.
With Cosmic Rewind, to me that would be such a cool idea.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a cool idea. I think that you touched point on that. It definitely hits on what tying Marvel to the Epcot. Obviously, they would have to work out a deal with Universal. So it's probably up there as in terms of actually being able to happen, but it's definitely a good idea.
Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't say let's do it tomorrow or anything like that, but like if you're trying to push the concept and idea into Epcot, I think would be a cool suggestion. Like I know it'd be kind of random to just kind of throw it in there. You go, here's Germany, here's Italy, oh Wakanda, and let's keep going to the USA. And I know it'd be really random, but it would be just kind of cool to have. Just an idea to throw it out there.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'd like to see them add Brazil. I think the Brazilian culture, the Brazilian food would fit perfectly at Epcot. And I know that it was a rumor at some point.
That was my next suggestion.
Yeah, I think that the food would be on point too at that land if they get it right.
Oh, absolutely. I think I'm surprised they don't have it, honestly. And their food, I don't know if, like, their food is unreal. They have such good food. And it's a world that I shouldn't say a world, I should say a country that I'm surprised it has not made its way into Epcot already.
Yeah, I would love to see an announcement of a couple countries being added at the next D23. I think that Epcot's deserving of an expansion. I don't know if my liver would be happy, but I definitely want an expansion. I now have a question for all of our listeners and viewers. Oh, okay. All right, I'll answer that first. If I had to add another country, it's a very good question. I feel like I know it. I mean, it's not very similar, but I love to see an Ireland country. I think that it would fit in well. It's got a similar feel to the UK, like in terms of food and whatnot. Sure. But I do think that would be an awesome thing to add.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was going to say either Ireland or Greece would be really cool.
Greece would be a good choice too. Yep.
Yep. I would be a beautiful addition to it.
I agree. You'd have amazing food and amazing atmosphere. Yeah, I definitely see that. And I'm sure you could add a ride to some of these. Just not another show. I know a lot of the countries go for shows, but I think that you could add just like a regular ride. Again, doesn't have to be e-ticket. Something that tells the history of the country. I think that would be pretty cool. Sure. Okay. Now I want to throw it to our listeners and viewers. If you let us know, if you're watching on YouTube, let us know what you would want to see added to the parks if you were an Imagineer. Would it be a ride, a show, an experience? What would you add? And if you're listening on Spotify, I'll put a questionnaire in there for you guys to answer. But we would love to hear your ideas. And if we love it so much, we'll repost it for you. We're really excited of the reception we've gotten. We've heard your feedback, and I just want to say thank you so much for all the kind words that you've given us, for all the suggestions you've given us. We do listen. Really appreciative of that.
Absolutely. And, kind words, I think, we can definitely show that in our last episode. We've taken that feedback and rolling with it. So, again, thank you so much. Not even just for the feedback and kind words, but, taking your time to listen. Because I know everyone has busy schedules, busy days, and there's so much to watch, so much to do. And, for you to get that looking to us, it means a lot. And, thank you. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. And if you're a new listener, welcome. If you just stumbled upon us, you can also find us everywhere at In the Parks and Beyond on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. That's our name, In the Parks and Beyond. You can find my social media on Instagram and TikTok at Josh in the Parks, and you can find Jerry on Instagram and TikTok as well at It's a Buzz Life. Again, I'm truly thankful for all the support that you've shown, and thank you for heading in the parks with us.